guests today, so fellow Toastmates. If a nation expects to be ignorant and free in a state of civilization, it expects what never was and will never be. And that's a quote from Thomas Jefferson. So in other words, education is critical to promoting civilization. So I work for DLEG in the area of workforce development, and we implement job training programs designed to do two things. Number one, provide people with new skills for work, and number two, promote a well-trained labor pool to encourage employers to come to Michigan. So in Michigan, the central mission is to emphasize meaningful education and training over simply reemployment. So education is at the heart of workforce development. So today I will give a quick bureaucratic overview of the bureaucratic structure of workforce development, and then I will, if I have time, kind of briefly talk about the program itself. So if you take a look at diagram number 1, you'll see the kind of bureaucratic overview there. So at the top, of course, you have the federal government. You have the U.S. Congress, who writes and enacts legislation. And of course, you have the executive branch that implements the law. At the federal level, there are hundreds of departments and smaller agencies. The Department of Labor is the critical department for workforce development. So the Department of Labor administers the workforce development program and kind of oversees it and provides oversight of all the 50 state programs. So in Michigan, I believe there are 17 departments in Michigan. I could be wrong. There are 17 departments and a number of other smaller commissions. And the critical department in Michigan for workforce development is DLEG. That's, of course, the Department of Energy, Labor, and Economic Growth. DLEG regulates industry and promotes economic growth. Within DLEG is the Bureau of Workforce Transformation. And, of course, within DLEG has like 30 bureaus and other smaller commissions. The Bureau of Workforce Transformation is the relevant one for the discussion today because it implements workforce development in Michigan. If you kind of follow the diagram down, and you'll see that there's like a worker side, there's a management services division, and there's an employer side. So the management services division provides assistance to the whole bureau, and it provides like technical support, and it does training, and it sets up kind of our information systems. So it's helpful as far as how the state communicates with the Department of Labor and with the local Michigan Works agencies. So it kind of connects us all together. Now on the employer side, you have two divisions. You have the Regional and Sectoral Strategies Division, which works with employers to promote economic growth. So the state employees meet with employers in different areas, and they try to come up with strategies to create jobs. The Meeting Employer Needs Division is also on the employer side, and they assist employers with recruiting and screening and training. They kind of create a pool of employees from which employers could draw upon. Now if you look over on the worker side, you'll see the Migrant and Seasonal Workers Division. They simply provide employment services for migrant workers. You have the Lifelong Learning Division, which you have a number of different programs in lifelong learning. You have TAA, which is the Trade Adjustment Act, and that's again a federal law. Basically, it's a program designed to provide support for people who lose their jobs due to U.S. trade policy. So if NAFTA closes, if a business moves from Michigan to Mexico, then TAA people will kind of step in and try to help those people who lost their jobs find employment. And then you have the No Worker Left Behind program, which is, of course, the famous popular program right now. That simply provides 2 years of training for you get up to 2 years of of training for over $10,000. So that basically the government pays you to go to school and get training. So next we have the AED division. That's the Accelerating Employment Division. So there's a welfare reform section and a WIA section. That's the Workforce Investment Act. That's what WIA stands for. And the welfare reform section administers work requirements for families who are receiving welfare benefits. So the TANF is the name of the federal welfare program, and it's FIP for the state, but the work requirements are handled by us and DLEG. And then the WIA section administers the Workforce Investment Act and provides oversight of the Michigan Works agencies. And then finally there's the Veteran Services Division, which provides employment services for veterans. So at the local level you have 25 Michigan Works agencies. These are 25 regions where they basically implement all of these programs that are administered by the state. So they work with the state in kind of directly providing training and help people with job search and create resumes and things like that. And that's all done at the Michigan Works Service Centers. So there are about 80 service centers now. I have 100 there, but I think we're down to like 80. Those are just the physical facilities where a lot of the job search and training take place. And participants are people who use the workforce development, who sign up for the program and are eligible. So the diagram number 2, I probably won't have time to get into it today, but basically it kind of outlines the major part of the workforce development program. So basically there are 3 programs. There's dislocated worker, adult, and youth. Dislocated worker program serves those people who lost their jobs. The adult program serves those people who are 18 years of age or older. And the youth program serves participants who are 14 to 21 years old. They also have to be low income or one additional barrier like being pregnant or orphan or in foster care. So in conclusion, workforce development is the use of public policy to provide training and education to workers. As Michigan transitions from a manufacturing-based economy to a knowledge-based economy, Michigan workers must obtain the education and training necessary to make that transition possible. So hopefully the WIA program will help facilitate that transition.